Right. So, I'm trying to think of a way to make this video for probably 2 years, and now I've been sat here a while trying to think of how to say it. And I didn't actually want to make this video, and I didn't need to a couple months ago. I didn't think I need to, and then I thought maybe I should at one point later on down the road. But I just need to film it, and I just need to, because I can't plan it. I just need to say, and then I need to rant. Recent events, the past 2 weeks, have just reminded me of how shit this world is. I mentioned that in my last video, and I did say the next video wouldn't be something serious. It would be something fun, involving games or something fun. And I did see your comments, but I haven't replied, and I'm sorry. Especially to Andra, who's like my one fan, who's like stuck around. I need to stop running about other things and get to the point. I don't know what I'm going to name this video yet, so I am blind, registered blind, visually impaired, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter what name you use, it's all the same thing, and it's real. It's hard. It's tiring, and discrimination's a real thing, and it's something I deal with on a regular basis, too regular really, and it's wrong, especially in this day and age, because it still exists. I think a lot of people probably don't think it does. A lot of people think there's a lot of laws and rules in place that won't stop, are supposed to stop and help disabled people like me, other blind, other visually impaired people. And I don't know many of their stories. This is my one, part of it anyway, what I think's important, and I just need to get it all out, because it's getting hard, it's getting frustrating, and I'm trying to compose myself for this video and try not to get angry and everything else. I don't know if I'm going to break this into sections. I'm just going to talk, and I hope that you guys can just sit and listen. And I want this to be seen. It needs to be seen, because someone needs to start saying something, and someone needs to stand up for people like me, because if this is happening to me, it's happening to others, people worse off than me, people that have worse disabilities than me, and right now we're in such a shit time where we're all supposed to be looking out for each other, and instead it's just every man for himself. I have to say something now. I've had loads of different things happen, and I'm just going to go through a couple of my stories. The more recent ones I'll do in a bit, the past 2 weeks. It just goes to show that this country's got a long way to go. As people, we've got a long way to go. It's a generational thing, I think, as well. I'm going to look wherever I'm going to look wherever I want to in this video, because I'm always really adamant on trying to look at the camera, but there's no point, because I'm just going to look wherever I want. That's what I do in normal day life. That's how I talk to people. I look wherever I look. So sorry if it's a bit impersonal or whatever, but that's me. I'm not being impersonal. I like to look wherever I do. Anyway, experience as a blind person, I don't know. I think first of all, I'll get into what I'm diagnosed with. I have a genetic disease called Stargardt's disease. They actually confirmed I had it recently. It took 5 years. I sent blood samples off 5 years ago, and it took me 5 years to find out what I had. Basically, it's a form of macular degeneration. I'm not going to completely go into it, but I don't have any central vision, so I find it hard to see things from far away. It takes me longer to focus on them because I'm using my peripheral. I don't just have black. There's not like just black there. It's not how your eyes work. It's not how your brain works. We all see things upside down, so the brain flips it. It's the same thing. It's okay. I don't have central vision, peripheral, and it makes up the image. So it takes longer for me to focus on things. It takes longer for me to read, to do stuff. It's hard, and I can't read small things. If I'm at the cinema, if people are speaking a foreign language and some subtitles come on, I'm not going to be able to read that. I can't see that. I need someone to read that to me. So I can't see small things. I can't pick up a book and read it. I can't just pick up a book and read it. I have a massive machine I have to carry around to read things. I can't just use a computer. I have a 32-inch ultra-wide monitor, which is 4K, so that when I zoom in, the resolution doesn't disappear, and I can still actually make things out and read stuff. And I'm on about, right now I'm on, I think 400 magnification, something like that. Anyway, that's just trying to give you a gist of what my eyesight's like. I have depth of field, and I have all these things. And throughout my life, I've tried to not ever let it stop me from doing stuff. I've tried to, and I've been pretty successful. When I was around the age of 12 to 14, was probably one of the hardest, 12 to 15, I think, hardest parts of my life, because when I was around, I think when I was around 7, my parents were told that I'll be going blind at the age of 16. I completely lose my eyesight. They didn't know what I had back then. Skip fast forward, I'll give you the happy ending. That's not true. It's not how Stargardt disease works, and it's not what they thought I had isn't what I had, and they didn't know what it was back then. Like, I was one of the kind back then. It was rare. Also, I had it at a very young age. I was 7. If you want to know how it happened, I was sat in a classroom one day, and I just couldn't see the board. Just suddenly couldn't see it. And young me was just confused. And my mum, surprisingly, luckily I guess, was helping out at the school that day. I think it was like year 1 or something. I don't know the years. I can't remember now. But and I kept going up to the board, and I described it because it was like dark. I was like, "Oh, the board's gone dark," just because it was out of focus. I couldn't see it. I thought I'd gone from being able to sit down and write what's on the board into my book to not being able to do that, and I was going up to the board to write it down. And my mum noticed this was all wrong and got my eyes tested. Went to the opticians. There was like, I got no clue what's wrong with him. You're gonna have to go to a hospital near me. Yeah, Brimfield. Yeah, it's Brimfield Hospital. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it's Brimfield. Doesn't matter which hospital it was. It was a hospital around the Chelmsford area, Essex area, and they did some tests. They did a few things, and like, we're not qualified to deal with this. You have to go to Moorfields. Moorfields is the British National Eye Hospital. It's like the place you go if you have any eye problems in England. It's in London, so it's great fun to get to when they're like, be there at 9 a.m. Then you get there at 9 a.m. and wait 4 hours and see them at like 2 in the afternoon. But just fun hassles. And then anyway, I went there. I was 7. They did a bunch of horrible tests. I'm not going to give you the gory details because it's not been fun. There's been a bunch of horrible ones. And they were like, yeah, he's got this thing. And back then they told my parents I was going to go blind. I found this out when I was like 12, 13. One of my friends knew, and he kind of slipped up and told me the secret. And I kind of also had overheard my aunt talking about it. I put 2 and 2 together, and I confronted my mum about it. After telling some of my friends, it made me depressed. It made me not see the point and wanted to go on with things. I'm going to have to put a trigger warning in this video. Sorry to anyone. But it was fine. I didn't go blind. So that's kind of my story. That's how that went about. And it didn't affect me until I got to around 12, 13, 14, because that's the point when you start realizing, like, oh, I want to drive. I can't do that. Not allowed. I want to do this. I want to be able to pick up a book and read. I suddenly found a huge interest in storytelling and reading, and just, I loved books and I loved English. And that was a massive challenge for me, and I overcame it. And like I said, I've my entire life tried to overcome stuff. I've always tried. And there's a bunch of stuff I could go into. Being told by the head of the learning support team, which is a team that deals with disabled people at schools, that she didn't think I was actually blind. She thought I was completely putting it on and being lazy when I would be trying so hard to pay attention to work after about a normal school days. Yeah, it's tiring for a kid, and most kids are usually tired by the end of the day. Just times that by 2, or whatever you want to call it, because trying to focus and read something, or staring at a computer all day, which people who work on computers know is tiring, but then having to double focus, I can't put it into words, but as a kid it would tire me out, so I used to fall asleep in class or things. It wasn't like he's being lazy thing, or he's just not had enough sleep. It was, I was tired, my eyes hurt, they were in physical pain, and I still get like that. Difference is now I can push through it. That's kind of where that started, and there's lots of other things. I'm trying trying to hit the key points here, and I'll get to the reason I'm making this video in a bit. Anyway, so that's me, you know. And for a long time I hated not being normal. Which is a stupid word, and I hate the word now. It's the thing I try to not be. It's boring. But I never wanted to associate myself with any of these disabled things, any other blind people. I didn't want to do it because it made it real. It made it, you know, I wasn't like everybody else. For fuck's sake, I was trying not to cry for the video. And I'm really emotional at the moment because of circumstances that have happened, and that's why I'm making this video. I'm sorry. I'm really trying to compose myself, and I didn't want to confront it. I wanted to try my best to not. I just hated it. I used to have to walk around school getting called briefcase wanker because I had to carry a computer around with me and a massive zoomer. And like I laugh about it now. It's whatever. But as a kid, I always stuck out like a sore thumb. And there's people like that have had it worse. School wasn't awful for me. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I had some really good friends and some really good people, and a lot of people in my year, to be fair to them, were very kind. There's a lot of people that were horrible and would bully others, but I didn't necessarily get that a lot. From people in my year, people that knew me, I had respect, at least. But I always stuck out, and there was people that knew who I was. I didn't even know who they were. But everyone knew who I was, because not in like a popularity way, just they knew who I was. I kept myself to myself. I had my friends, but everyone knew who I was because I was that kid who needed a massive yellow paper and had a giant zoomer with him everywhere he went, and that's how that was. And you know, when I was younger, it was kind of cool. I thought it was cool to have all these gadgets and stuff. But as you grow up and you realise nobody else has it, it draws attention to you, and being a young person, sometimes having attention drawn to you isn't something you want. As I got older, I kind of accepted it more and took it more as a challenge. And I was like, okay, well, people are saying I can't do this, so I'm going to do it. But before I did all that, I decided to, I think my mum pushed me more than anything to meet other people with something similar. And I can't remember the organisations now off the top of my head, but I met some great people that I'm not actually in contact with really anymore. I briefly see them on Facebook and maybe wish them Happy New Year and birthday and whatever. We're not hugely close anymore, just because life drifts you away from other people, and there weren't people that lived close to me at the time. We was young, and I had my friends at home. But what it taught me was it showed me what other people had gone through. It gave me a bigger understanding of people like me, like other visually impaired, other partially blind or blind people, and it gave me that insight. And I have some great memories, and it just, together we all just felt united. I don't know, and I felt strong, and it really helped me. It gave me what I needed to push myself forward, and basically tell everyone to go fuck themselves when they would say all these different things I couldn't do. They said I couldn't go sixth form. I said I wouldn't be able to get the grades. All my predicted grades were like E's and F's. Because of my eyes and because I was disabled, I was stuck in all the lower sets because it was easier for me to learn at a lower and slower pace, which makes sense. I ended up getting, I think, the award for most overachieved student or something, which I didn't expect or want. But I remember getting it. I was like, hey, nice. Not bad. But it felt good to walk down there and be like, yeah, you to everyone that said that I couldn't. I'm not going to name names, but the LSA leader teacher who, she believed that I wasn't blind and she believed I was making it up, suggested that to my parents and said I was being lazy, which is ridiculous. She also didn't believe I could get into sixth form, and at the time I wanted to get into sixth form because it felt safe to me and change seemed scary. This was before I decided that, no, you know what, I need to prove everyone wrong and I want to get out there. I need to get out of my comfort zone. And she said that I couldn't get into sixth form and it's not an option I should be looking at. I actually overachieved it. I could have got into sixth form easily if I wanted to. I would have had no trouble getting into sixth form with the grades I got, but I didn't want to. It wasn't my calling. It wasn't where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to get away from them. I wanted to go away from kids, and I wanted to go somewhere new. So I picked a college really far away where I had to get trains, which was insane and really pushed my limits. And that's why I did it. Then I met these people, which gave me that push and that urge where I was like, I need to do things for myself. And it gave me that confidence because I was a very shy person. I didn't want to ask for help. I still don't like asking for help. I can do it now, but it sucks. And you don't know how much it sucks until you're there. Because normal everyday life things, for example, going to a shop to get some stuff, just to get food, to get things you need to survive. For me, being at uni is something I do a lot. Things aren't very clear sometimes on packaging, dates, prices, trying to find the certain things you're looking for. Sure, you can go up to somebody and ask. And most people do go up to people and ask. That's not too bad. I can say, where's this? It's fine. They show you where it goes. Because some people don't know where things are. The hard bit is when I have to go to a till. And this happened once when I was at uni. I went to Asda and all the tills were shut. I didn't realise this happened. After a certain time, they stopped having people on the tills, which is what I always use because I can't use self-serve. I can't see the screen unless I get really close to it. And again, draw attention to myself. It's just humiliating. And then I was stuck in this situation where I needed these things. I had them. I felt awkward to go put them back. I didn't want to put them back because I needed them. And I just stood there and struggled. And then I had to go ask for help. And it's like, that's fine. And someone helped me. But I felt useless. And that's how I feel near enough on a daily with these things, which is why I always push myself when it comes to anything else. But when I wake up in the morning, I can't just be like, I need to get to the shop. I don't think about I need to go to uni. I have to think about, okay, if I'm going to go to the shop, I need to make sure it's at the right time so I can get served. Or can I get somebody to come with me? If I'm going to get this bus, I need to figure out my entire bus route. And I'll get to buses later because in Northampton, where I'm currently going to uni, it's disgusting and their bus drivers need some education. But basically, a lot more thought has to go into just normal daily things like shopping. Is my example, and just reading stuff, simply reading stuff. If I'm getting a bus somewhere, I can't just get a bus because I don't know what number I'm getting. Sometimes the phone isn't clear. And trying to read the phone while I'm on a time schedule, it's stressful and I get scared. And I'm like this 24/7. If I stay at home, then a lot of these things don't come up because I'm in my element. Like I know how my things work and I know where everything is. But thank God for iPhones because or just smartphones in general. I don't know, whatever. I use an iPhone, so being able to take pictures of things, zoom in on things is great, but it adds time and it draws attention to yourself. And as I'm getting older and as I'm getting used to these sort of things, I'm caring less about drawing attention to myself, but I still get those feelings. So after I left school, and once I'd finished with college and I'd proven to myself that I could go somewhere and do different things, next I needed to prove that I could drive, which I mean I can't. I'm legally not allowed to drive on the road, but I went and I did some off-roading. The off-roading courses with a bunch of the blind, visually impaired people who met the group that I met up, and the organisation that kind of organised it all and funded it all. We went off and we did some off-roading, and it was a good laugh. It was really fun, but I'll never do it again. At least right now, where I stand right now, I'll never do it again, because it's that element of it's like when you get a mouse. Yeah, you get a mouse or like a hamster, and you hang food, like cheese or whatever, in front of them, but they're on a running wheel and they can't grab it. They can't get to that cheese. Always pulling it away. That's what it felt like driving. Like it was good for a bit, but then afterwards I'm like, I don't want to do this again. It was nice to try it and do it and say I've done it, but just doing off-roading stuff and all these different things and driving, it just reminds you of that you can't actually do this. You can't use this to go pick up your girlfriend if she needs you, take your brothers to the hospital if they have to, or if they're in hospital and you can't go to see them, any family member, anything, you are left at other people's, I don't know, mercy. It's not the right word. You're left to rely on others. That's my life, forever, at the moment anyway. Unless I make a cure for my eyesight, which it'll be great, but I'd only take it if it worked 100%. I'm not taking any chances of getting it worse, because I can live with what I've got. I try to live with what I've got. People like to make it difficult for me. It reminds me of all that, so I don't want to do that. So I did that, and then I went and climbed a mountain, because it was dangerous and stupid, and I really wanted to do it. My brother, my older brother, is an expert, all that stuff. He's a scout, he loves it all, and all my brothers do, and all that stuff. So I remember when we were going to the Lake District for my 18th birthday, I really wanted to climb a mountain. That was what I wanted to do. I wanted to go walking, hiking, climbing, all crazy, dangerous stuff, because I want to prove that I can do it. And we did it, and it was insane. We climbed Helvellyn, which I believe is the most dangerous walk in the country. I don't know if it's in the entire United Kingdom, but I know it's the most dangerous walk in England, and it's the second highest peak in England as well. But it was brilliant, it was beautiful, it was insane. Like I said, I have got vision. I can see stuff. I can appreciate beauty. I have peripheral vision. It is not perfect peripheral vision either, but I have it. I then went gorge walking, which was insanely fun. It was incredible. Dangerous as hell, jumping off waterfalls and things. Like, it's dangerous to do when you can see. I was jumping into God knows what. I couldn't really tell. There was a moment where we were told that you have to jump at the right moment, and you have to do it. You can't have any second thoughts, so you can hit your head. The whole thing. Like, if you got to do it, but then you stop, that you'd end up killing yourself or damaging yourself badly. You need to jump at the right moment, in the right spot, at the right time, and you have to aim for a certain point. And they're telling me this. They're like, you need to aim for this point. I had no fucking clue what they were telling me to aim for, but I just pretended I could see it. My brother was down there. I could see him. He was kind of pointing roughly to where I needed to go, and I just risked it because everyone else was doing it, and I wanted to do it too. And I was fine. And it was great. It was amazing. My brothers were shocked. They're like, what? It was great. And the worst thing that came out of it was I bumped my knee. I think it was a tiny bruise. It's getting a lot worse. And it was great fun. And it was incredible. I got to travel to lots of amazing places. I don't take any of that for granted. I don't take my life at all for granted. Every single moment I live and everything I do, I'm very appreciative for. The things that I'm given, because there are people off worse than me. And I always, keep that in mind. Now we're going to get to the rest of the discrimination stuff, because I've given you my life story pretty much. There's lots of stuff in there that I'm going to leave out because it's personal, it's mine. Even though this is a very personal video and this is a lot about my life and my experiences being blind, this is the shit bit, to put it not so politely, I guess. I think we'll just start with the early bits. When I turned 18, as if you're over 18, most 18-year-olds, the majority, you go clubbing, you go drinking, you get drunk, you have fun, you do stupid stuff. That's what I did. Had a great time doing it. Something that I just regularly noticed was because of my eyesight. If you've met me, when I'm talking to you, my eyes will be all over the place. They will not be looking usually, not just usually, they'll just majority of the time not be looking at you. Sometimes it's, if you don't know that I've got this, you won't recognise it, but after being with me long enough, you'll notice it. But my eyes don't look in the right direction unless there's somebody's in front of me. My eyes will be going off to the right or the left, because I use my peripheral vision. I don't notice I'm doing it. It's my brain making sure I can see who I'm talking to, and sadly that can look like I'm being rude. When I was at school, I had plenty of kids in year 7 always asking me, not year 7s, I was year 7, as young when we just got to school, you're trying to make friends with new people. Plenty of people asking me why I wasn't looking at them or if I was talking to them. Kids can be mean. It's just that stuff. So there's that. So when I'm trying to get into a club and there's bouncers, and if I've had it, sometimes I could be sober. I could have had nothing to drink, but let's say I've had a bit to drink. I usually look high. I look like I've took some kind of drug. And every single time, not once was I on anything other than what everybody else was, and that was alcohol. And I've never tried to get into a club where I was too far gone. If I was too far gone and they told me to walk away, then that's fair enough, because they have the right to not let somebody in if they're completely off their face. I've come from Wetherspoons and had like 2 drinks, let's say 2 ciders, whatever. I can't remember what I used to drink back then. Maybe vodka and coke. I don't know. Single shot. I wasn't drinking whiskey then, I know that. And they wouldn't let me in, or I'd have to put up a fight. It is always an effort. And after the first time having it, it was scary. And again, I've got great friends. Some of my mates would stick up for me, and just be like, look, he's visually impaired, he has this problem, or I would say it. Most of the time it would work. For a while it would work, but I would always be scared that it wouldn't, because then it started to not work. They were just like, no, don't care, you're not coming in, because everyone knows bouncers, a lot of them are to be honest. They don't want to listen to you, and they don't care, and they're in charge, so sod off, basically. Especially in Essex, where I'm from, Chelmsford, they don't want to listen to you. And then eventually, because I can't drive, so I'm not allowed a driver's license. And this is a really frustrating thing that I know many blind people and probably disabled people have to suffer with. It's that we can't get a driver's license and we can't get a provisional, because it's illegal technically to have a provisional, apparently. So I can't have a provisional and I can't have a driver's license. So my only other option is a passport, because the disabled ID card, whatever it's called, it's like a public service card, whatever it's called, it's got a name, I used to have one, don't work anymore. They don't have to accept them. And the amount of times I'll be turned away at a door because they said driving license or passport, that was it. And they used to turn their backs to me. I'll be sitting there telling them that I'm a visually impaired person, I'm blind, and they wouldn't look at me. And sometimes I'd get in because my mates would try and talk to them, but then other times, no. So I'd have to go somewhere else and hope I get in. And every single time I went out clubbing, every single time I went out for a drink, I couldn't just enjoy it. Not until I was in the club. And that actually changed. Back in 2018, and I didn't feel comfortable in clubs for a very long time. I still technically don't. I'm always on the lookout for bouncers. Up here, not so much, because they're actually quite nice. I've not had any trouble with bouncers in Northampton. And the only time someone's asked me about my eyes looking quite drunk or too high or too drunk or whatever, I've explained the situation to them and they've left me alone. They said, no worries, let the bouncers know, you'll be fine. That's why I get here. Back home, not so much. They used to turn their backs to me, they wouldn't let me in. They'll just try and act like I didn't exist. But then they'd let a bunch of underage girls in because, but I didn't have ID. I won't check their ID. Right in front of me, he let 3 or 4 girls. I'm positive were underage. I'm pretty sure I recognised one of them and knew they weren't 18 yet. They're like 17. Didn't check any of their IDs. I let them straight in, but wouldn't even talk to me. So we went to a different club. That was Bar and Beyond, I think. Having a Bar and Beyond a lot. I think at the time we probably went Citizen or something. These are different clubs that used to be there. Citizen's not there anymore. Never had a problem with Citizen, to be honest. I've never had a problem with them bouncers. But they're gone, so Citizen's not there anymore. Then back in 2018, this is where it all really started to get real for me. And I realised that this is disgusting. If this has happened to me, God knows what's happened to other people. I went out clubbing with where I was working at the time. I used to work at the council. We were all out clubbing, went to a place called Pop World. We was out. I think I'd been there. We got there at like 10, maybe half 10, 11. And it was December. No, it was the 30th of November. So it was counting down to Christmas. And at 12 o'clock, they played Christmas music. And it was great. So I had got there. I was with my work. So one, I wasn't going to be getting completely smashed because my manager was there. I didn't want to make a bad impression. It's not smart to do that. So I probably had 1 or 2 whiskey and coke, so I was drinking whiskey then. I'd have 1 or 2, and then mostly just dancing on the dance floor because it's cheesy music, it's great music. I'm with my friends from work, great time, with a bunch of girls from work, most of them older than me. Like I'm partying with people that were in their 30s and older, so I'm not like some young kid causing loads of trouble. I'm with my work colleagues trying to be presentable but having fun. They were really drunk though. A lot of my friends were, especially one of the girls. Again, I'm not going to name names. Really drunk, off her face, falling over, all sorts, which is fine. She's enjoying herself. By the end of the night, I might have been quite drunk too. My night ended shortly though, because I come off the dance floor to catch some air. I think we did a big conga thing, and I was on my phone because I was trying to find out where some of my friends were. And when I use my phone, I'll give you an example. So I don't know if you've ever done that before. So this is me looking at my phone. This is how I use my phone. When I read something, I'm like this. If I'm drunk, it might be even closer. That's how close that's to my face. And I use this little zoomer thingy. I don't know if you can see it. It isn't going to focus. I use a little zoomer thingy to read. So I had it close to my face. And then a bouncer, when I come out, a bouncer got right in my face. He was about here. So this close. His saliva went on my face when he spat at me. And he was like, "You need to leave. You are fucked. You're gone, mate. You're on something. You're fucked. You're gone." All this stuff because I'm holding my phone close to my face. I'm standing there like, "Okay, look, calm down. I'm trying to explain to you the music's blaring, so it's loud." So I'm shouting this really close to him, like, "No, look, I'm visually impaired. I've barely had anything to drink. Like, I'm standing. I'm not wobbling. I'm standing there completely still. I felt sober. I was completely in myself. Maybe buzzed. Let's say I'm buzzed because I have had like some whiskey, so maybe I'm buzzed, but I'm not wobbling all over the place. I'm not out of control. I was nowhere near gone. I've drunk way more than that and still been fine. So I'm trying to explain to the guy, and he wouldn't have it. Bouncers don't want to hear it. When they make a decision, that's it. Maybe not just bouncers. When people make a decision, but especially bouncers. And he wouldn't listen to me. And I got up on my phone. I got this zoomer thing up. There's a zoomer here. There you go. I got it up and I was showing him. I can't remember at the time if I had like my little ID thing. I think I stopped using it back then. I think I started using my passport because I have to. I've got no other way to get into to show my ID because they don't accept anything else. And he wouldn't have it. So he pushed me. He attacked me because I was trying to explain to him that I was a visually impaired blind person. Now, I'm someone that sticks up for myself. I'm someone that when attacked I will feel threatened, and I did, and I'd done nothing wrong. I went on my phone, which everybody else in the club gets to do, and people were way more drunk than me, and there's a reason this is going to come up. I wasn't with some of my friends from work. I'd stood off the dance floor. They were still on the dance floor. I stood off the dance floor. Maybe one of them was going to get a drink. I was texting people to find out where some of my other friends were because it's hard for me to find people in the club. So I say, "Meet me here," and we go and meet. So I was trying to find out where one of my friends were because they were out that night. So he pushes me. So I pushed him back. Because why should I sit there and let someone just push me, just attack me? And it wasn't just like a shove. It was a violent push. He grabbed and threw me. I stumbled back. So I charged him and pushed him back. Pushed him away. I was like, "Get the fuck out of my face. How dare you do that? Like, what? Why?" And I'm threatened. I don't know what went through my head, but all I knew was this arsehole, middle-aged, bald git pushes me for no reason. Nothing was really qualified. In my head, it was all going really fast, and it does. If you go through these moments, if you have a fight or these kind of things happen, when your adrenaline's going, you don't know what's going through your head. So if I'm being pushed, I'm going to push someone back because I'm being threatened. That's a normal response. I'm not going to be like, "That's okay, mate. You just shoved me. I'll come with you now and leave the club because I've done nothing wrong, but sure, I'll leave." No, I'm going to stick up for myself and I'm going to push you. I don't know how else I could have handled it. I could have maybe kept complaining. I could have kept being like, "Why did you push me?" I probably could have said that. But again, I was a bit buzzed maybe. I'm feeling threatened. I can't see exactly what's going on already, so I pushed back. And unlucky for me, the rest of the bouncers were there behind me, which I didn't notice because I couldn't see. So they all decided to jump me. I was punched. I was kicked. I was thrown around, and they were desperately trying to get me on the floor, but I wouldn't go on the floor because I know if I was on the floor, that was it. And I would not let them get me on the floor. And they were trying to get me out of the club. I got punched in the ribs. I got punched in the back. I got kicked in the leg. The most damage happened to my hand. And when this was happening, two of my work colleagues saw this was happening. I don't want to name names. One of the girls was hitting one with a handbag to try and get them off of me, and the other girl had noticed near the end, and they tried to throw me out onto the floor just because I went on my phone, because they held it like this, and they wouldn't listen. They wouldn't for a second listen to me. And when was thrown and I managed to catch my feet, I was ready to fight. You know, I'm in my fight or flight mode. When someone really pisses me off, I'm going to defend myself. But luckily, I calmed the hell down, which proves again I wasn't super drunk, because God knows what could have happened if I was, because you don't think straight. But there was 6 people I'd just been beaten the shit out of, and I got thrown out of a club. And luckily, the 2 girls come after me, because they were trying to get me out of an exit which you can't get back in of. If they had thrown me out there, none of my friends were there to see them, I would have just been out on the street. Anyway, I come out. I'm obviously upset and fuming. Like I can't describe this feeling when you do nothing wrong. Like, imagine as a kid when you don't do anything wrong and your sibling gets you in trouble and you know you're innocent. It's that kind of feeling, but magnetize it by 100. There's plenty of people out there that know this feeling and know what discrimination is like, and it sucks. And I was just shaking and I was crying. And the 2 girls come out, and one of them has been drinking a lot, and she is gone. She's with it enough to be screaming. The head bouncer's come out, because the head bouncer's like, what's going on? And she's screaming at him like, he's visually impaired, he's blind, why did you shock him? Because they asked me what happened, and I was like, literally nothing. And I swear, across my heart, I swear on my granddad's life, I'll do whatever you want me to say. I did nothing but go on my phone and try to explain to this person. Every time things go wrong, it's me trying to explain that I'm visually impaired and other ignorant people not wanting to listen or pay attention, and it needs to change. And she's screaming at him saying, look at me, look how drunk I am more drunk than he is, why did he get thrown out? And the bouncer's like, I can see that, I can see you're more drunk than he is. And I'm like, I'm practically sober. At this point, my hand starts to really hurt. Turns out, a week later, I got nerve damage in my hand. When I got home, my hand was black and blue. And my younger brother, when I got home, he was still awake playing games and stuff, because I got home about 1, let's say, and maybe 2, because I just ended up going back in the club. They let me back in, the courtesy. They told me that I couldn't dance, though. I wasn't allowed to go dance. I was allowed to come back in and sit down, but I wasn't allowed to dance. I don't know why. And I think the reason they let me back in is because they were terrified that I'd report them. They're lucky I didn't report them, and there's family reasons why I couldn't report them, because sadly something really serious happened 2 days after this incident that was a hell of a lot more important than my painful arm, and it kind of got forgotten about, and by the time we got around to it, there was no point. And that was it. I come away from a night out with some nerve damage on my wrist. It would twitch. It was in pain for weeks. I had all those cast things on, just because I went on my phone in the nightclub, because I couldn't see it, so I had to zoom in, and because people are ignorant. People's ignorance is what caused that, and the lack or the need to listen to someone. Talking and listening to people these days just doesn't exist. So that's the first big thing, and that's when I first said I wanted to make that video, because it was just wrong. That night as well, I had trouble. I wasn't allowed in Bar and Beyond. They wouldn't let me in with my pass, because at the time I didn't have a passport. I remember now. I didn't have a passport. I still was trying to use my citizen. That's it, citizen's pass. It's called a citizen's pass for disabled people. They wouldn't use it. They don't class it as ID. They wouldn't let me in. And I'm with people that work at the council. I used to work at a council, and they're like, we know that this is a legal and registered ID, because it is, but also by law, they don't have to accept it. They just accept passport and driving license, because disabled people, basically. The reason, and then back then I wanted to make this video, and I didn't, and more things happened, and I didn't, and now I have to, because something needs to be said. My story needs to be heard, and I want other people to talk about it. It needs to be talked about, because I can't be the only. This is happening to me. What else is happening to other people? What worse is happening? It just makes you feel like you're nothing when you get treated like this. So now to bring you up more modern day to recent events, I was getting the bus. I was getting the bus with my girlfriend. I'm in a new place. I'm at uni. Like I lived here for most of the year last time, but I lived on campus, so I had no reason to leave campus really. When I did leave, I didn't have to get a bus anywhere. But where I live now, I need to get a bus. Get 2 buses actually, which is great. And in hindsight, this is a terrible place for me to live. Put up with it. But me and my girlfriend were on the bus and we're on the way back. Anyway, I have a bus pass, a disabled bus pass. That is a +1 bus pass to use across the entire country, given to me by my local council, and I've used it for the past 6 years of my life, 6 to 5 years of my life, and I have a +1 because I need a companion. I can get the bus by myself quite easily when it's places I know where I'm going, but when I'm not sure where I'm going, I'm allowed a companion, and I'm also allowed a companion whenever I want, because what is a measly bus ticket? 1 bus ticket. I can't drive. I'm not allowed to go on the roads. I can't get myself wherever I want to go. I have to rely on other people. It's the least I can ask for, is to have 1 extra person to come with me because I need help. It's my girlfriend, and we're doing the bus route to uni, so I know it. Only reason we're out is to learn the bus route. Go in there, fine. Had some trouble because apparently they didn't recognise my bus pass. But he let me on anyway, so not too bad from that guy. He was fine. Getting the bus back, same problem. This guy didn't understand it, hadn't seen it before, wanted to take a picture of it, and I was starting to think, great, this is going to become a thing. I haven't seen my bus pass before, and apparently it's not a companion pass when it says on the back that it is, and it has a little plus. I would try to find it, but this is it. That's my bus pass. I don't want to show too much, to be honest, because I don't know what's on there. And there's a symbol on it that says plus, like C+. It means companion plus. It means I'm allowed somebody with me. Anyway, so we get the bus back, and it goes to a bus station, because you have to get 2 buses to get back here. And we have to get the number 14, I think it was the bus, number 14. I put a complaint in, just to say this. And me and my girlfriend, neither of us were sure if this was the right bus. I was going off by what my phone told me. I wasn't sure if that was accurate or not, there was no. I can't read the signs, and there weren't any signs. And my girlfriend couldn't see any because she can see completely fine. But we was in a rush, and it had been a stressful day because, like I said, nothing's easy. Like traveling is not an easy thing. Like for everyone else, it's something that's very stressful for me. And whenever I get on a bus to somewhere I don't know, even when it's somewhere I do know, I always ask just to double check, is this going to this place? Is this going to go and stop off here? And as a bus driver, it is your job, and it is up to you to know where your bus is going, especially if you're driving it. If I was asking some random bus driver, fair enough. I'm asking the driver of the bus I'm getting on. So either say yes or no, or look it up. And the reason I'm annoyed is because I was treated with... it was just disgusting, appalling behaviour, and it gets worse. So I get on the bus and I ask him, is this going to, not going to say the street's name, to the street where I need to be? And I didn't have him go, not sure mate, I'm sorry, or no, I don't know where that is. I had, don't know mate, where's that? So as soon as I get on this bus, this guy is a massive prick for no reason. I've never met him before. Maybe he's had a bad day, fair enough. But this is your job. I'm asking you a question. There's a reason I'm asking you a question. Fair enough, at this point, he doesn't know I'm visually impaired. He doesn't know that. He does find out. He doesn't care. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of awkward for me, and I'm not really sure what to say. There's a queue of people behind me, and I felt uncomfortable. I felt close to being humiliated against, and I was very humiliated, and it was disgusting what happened. And I got so angry, and it brought everything back up again, and that's why I'm making this video. That and something that happened today. I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just give it a go. So I scan my bus pass. Go to get on the bus, and there's another problem. My girlfriend can't come on, it's not allowed a companion. So I go back, and I have her word on it, and there is apparently CCTV footage, which I've heard nothing from, because like I said, I've made a complaint, because I'm taking this very seriously, and I'm sick, and I'm tired or being treated like I'm nothing. I don't matter. I'm not letting it go. as little as this. Maybe this is a little thing compared to everything else, but it all builds up. And if this is happening to me, who knows what else is happening to other people? And it's something simple, and it's something that can be resolved easily. So I go back, and he's like, "This is what's going on." And I was like, "It's a companion pass." I was like, "I need a +1. I'm registered blind. It's a companion pass." He goes, "We don't do those. Doesn't exist." I went, "It does exist. I've used it for the past 6 years." And I was like, "If you read the card, it will say that it's a companion pass. This is the plus symbol with the C, and on the back it says, if this is a companion pass, you are allowed a companion, and the if it's a companion pass bit is the C plus." And let's say, and this is what I believe, that for some reason in this new area, this part of the country, this county, Northampton, they don't have these passes for disabled people or +1 people. They don't exist. So if that is the case, that's the council's fault, and that is disgusting. There's a reason I have this bus pass, because I've got no other way of getting around. I don't want it. I'm grateful for it, but why just get rid of them? Because apparently they got rid of them according to this guy. So either the problems with him or with them. But either way, this guy's still in the wrong because of the way he handled it. So I say to him, it's a companion pass, bus pass, and there's loads of people there. And he was like I said, rude from when I got on. And he sat there and he was like, "No, they don't exist. Don't know what you're on about. Companion passes, we've not done them for years. Not done them for years." And I was like, I've literally used this last week in Oxford. I've used it in Essex. I've used it in London. I've used it all over. And he's like, "No, it doesn't work. Can't do it." And I'm like, "Look, I need a companion." He goes, and then he's going, "No, it's not a companion pass. There's a picture of you. One picture means it's just for you." All this talking to me, like belittling me, like I'm an idiot. I've been using this thing for years. It's my second one. You get them every couple of years. It's my second one, so I know it does work. I know what I'm talking about. And he's getting just rude. He's getting rowdy. He's getting lippy. And I sat there and I was like, "It's not going to have a picture of my companion on it because it varies." I said, "It says it's a companion pass. It doesn't need to have a picture of the other person. I am the disabled person. I'm saying to him, I'm registered blind. I can't get about without a companion." And I'm saying all this to him, and he's getting rowdy, he's getting lippy. So I went to him, "Stop getting rowdy. I'm not getting annoyed at you." And obviously, at this point, I'm getting pissed off because he just started being rude. And he sat there, he took the card, and he's sitting there reading it. He sat there like this, reading it, being cocky, because I said to read the card. And I went, "Have you read the back?" I kept telling him to read the back, and not once did he read the back. Not once. Kept mocking me. Then he was trying to act as if it was a favour. He's like, "Oh, sit down, because I'm going to keep causing trouble. My girlfriend's not sure what to do because she's never been or seen this happen before." And I was just humiliated and just angry and I'm just sick of it. And I was fuming. This guy was horrible for no reason. So he's like, "Just go sit down, whatever. Just go sit down." Try and act like he's the good guy in front of all these people getting on the bus. Try and act like he's doing me a favour. So I sit down where it should have ended. Where if you're a professional, it should have ended. But not only did he do this, another bus driver gets on later on. And they're both very unprofessional and disgusting, treating me like I am nothing. And every single person that gets on, he's mocking me. He's going, "Oh, bus pass. What is it? Companion bus pass. We don't do that. I haven't done them for years." He's laughing. And then these other bus driver gets on. He's like, "No, I ain't done them for years. I'm in the southern counties, blah, blah, blah." And I'm sat there. I'm sat right there. They can see me the entire time. And I'm just belittled and mocked. And the entire bus knows it. All the attention on me, every single feeling I've ever felt, every shit feeling I've ever felt to do with my eyes, all hits me at once. Just because I tried to use my bus pass I've used for years. Because I can't get around any other way. And he's probably going to get away with it. They'll look after him, they'll protect him. I sent an email, I complained, and they said, "We'll check the CCTV footage. We know who you're talking about." Because I said the exact time, I said the bus it was, and I've heard nothing, and it's been over a week. It doesn't take long to look at some CCTV footage. They'll look at it, they'll decide it was fine, and they'll move on. So, again, I wanted to make this video because I'm just tired of it. And no one just gets how hard it can be. And I'm not making this to be like, oh, my life's hard. Life's hard. Life in general is hard. But this shit shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. Discrimination isn't just life. It's wrong, it's disgusting, it needs to stop. Finally, as a student, you know, you get student loans. And I found out today, because I'm not going to fully get into it, but I already knew that my loan had been cut from last year. Like, it had been cut in half. Which is tough, fine. And then I had to prove that I'm blind. I have to do this so much. I have to prove I'm still blind. Like I've not been magically cured. It's not just, it doesn't just go away. It's not a cold, but I still have to prove it. I have to get doctor's notes. I have to relive everything. I have to write down just bullshit. Me and my mum have to go over it and over it and over it. It never leaves. So I had to prove I'm blind to get a disabled benefit, like an extra, because I can't go out and get a job. I can't just go and work at McDonald's. I can't just go and have a Saturday job. I can't go and work in Cineworld. And I've tried. You can't sit there and tell me I haven't tried. I've tried. I tried to get those kind of jobs. And I felt embarrassed. I felt stupid. It made me feel dumb. Because something as easy as serving somebody on the till at Cineworld felt impossible to me. No one there treated me badly. They was actually really nice to me, and they gave me the fairest shot as anybody else. But the fact of the matter was I couldn't do the job. I couldn't do it. So I don't blame them. That's how it is. Maybe they could get, different things in to help me read. The till's easier, but that'll cost them money. Is it right? Maybe not. But I'm not blaming Cineworld for that. I'm not blaming anyone who worked there for that, because I was treated nicely and I was treated with respect. So I'm not gonna, and they gave me extra time and everything. So I'm not gonna have anything against them. I'm just saying that, I'm giving that as an example because I have tried, I have put myself out there, and it is not easy for anyone to get a job as it is. It's quite hard in today's climate. It's even harder now with coronavirus, and put on top of that a disability, not just for me, but any disabled person. So I have to prove I'm disabled to get an extra bonus on top of my benefit, and it's not a lot. It is not a lot. I'm not going to go into how much it is, but it's not a lot. But it would have helped. Not much. It would have helped for me the first term. And today I got an email saying that because of that I've qualified for disabled benefit. It has a name, has a specific name. I can't remember. I don't care to remember. But the student finance people are like, you've qualified for it. Yes, you're blind. You've got all your evidence. But your parents 2 years ago, because they're self-employed, it's confusing how it works. And if you didn't know this when you're at uni, they go off of your parents' earnings. If you've got a job, if they're employed, if they're self-employed, it's kind of confusing. And because they earned just over the threshold 2 years ago, my amount of disabled benefit was 0. It has nothing to do with them. Me. I'm the disabled person. I'm asking for help because I can't just go out there and get a job. I can't support myself like anybody else could if they wanted to. And even then it's hard. I can't do a job and work at uni because it's so hard. To write a 2,000 word essay will take me months. It will hurt. I get caused physical pain by doing work, but I do it because I love it. To edit a YouTube video, to sit here and make YouTube videos for you guys, a 20-minute video would take me weeks. It'd take me ages. A 10-minute video would take me about a week to do, when it shouldn't. And I can't just sit there and go and go for too long because my eyes get bloodshot, my eyes hurt. But yeah, so they messaged me and said, yes, you're disabled, but you get nothing. So what they said was, because you're a disabled person with self-employed parents, you get nothing. That's it. Fend for yourself. I know what my parents earn. And I did not for a second want them to fund me at uni. And now they have to. It's going to make their lives harder. It's going to make my brother's lives harder. It makes my life harder. And it's disgusting. But you know, Boris Johnson can go on holiday. Dominic Cummings can go and visit his family. I'm sat here today and I found out that I might not be allowed to go home for Christmas. What did I do? Didn't do anything. I played by the rules. I did what I was told. And I worked hard. I worked really fucking hard. I'm sick of it. I'm tired. I'm just so tired. It's not fair. And I'll push through. I'll be alright. But other people might not be. People worse off than me might not be. People that might have it slightly better than I do, but can't handle it as well as I can, might not be. And it's wrong. Discrimination exists. It hurts. I'm a person. I'm real. And I feel like I just don't get noticed. I was stood there at that bus stop trying to explain to that bus driver what was going on, and every single person queuing there just watched. Not one person stood up for me, not one. My girlfriend knew I could handle it. She didn't need to get involved. Plus, she's part of my party. Her saying something would have been null and void because he wasn't listening to me. The person being offended, like why would she listen? Well, you know, why would he listen to my girlfriend? But not one person would stick up for me. There's good people out there, I know there are, and maybe some of them people were good and they just felt awkward. But I'm sick and tired of being treated like nothing. I know it's not over, it will keep happening. But I am not being quiet anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but this channel needs to be something. I need to do something. And I want to encourage other disabled people, especially visually impaired, blind people, to speak up, tell your stories, tell me your stories, follow me, talk to me, and let me be your voice if you don't think you can do it. If you're too scared to do it, if you're too nervous to do it, give me your stories, let me fight it for you, because I'm sick and tired of bullshit. So from here on, this channel will be what it is still, nothing's changing. But if I want to talk about this stuff on here, I'm going to, because this is my platform to do so. And I'm very worried that no one's going to see this. But I had to rant, I had to get it out as one long ass video, and if you made it this far, thank you. Make a difference. Say something. And stick up for those who are less fortunate. If you see me on the street, or trying to get on a bus and being treated shit, stick up for me, because I'll do it for you. I just want to be accepted. Discrimination's real, it still exists, and it's here. Spread the message.